Hey friends, and welcome back to the Calm Edit. Today I've got a nice long collection for you of all of my best decluttering and organizing makeovers. This video is full of relaxing decluttering and organizing makeovers that I've filmed and edited over the last few months, and it's all in one spot here for you to enjoy. So sit back and relax, or if you have a decluttering and organizing project of your own, feel free to just put me up on your TV or your phone and we can get this done together. If you're like me and love before and after transformations, especially in the home, then this is the video for you. So let me know in the comments how you're doing this week and what you've been up to, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, so in my home, this is one of my worst closets right now, so we will start here. This is a hall closet that I've turned into a game closet / activity art supply closet. So as you can see, it has become kind of a catch-all for so many random things. And on top of that, a lot of things that have been shoved in here, especially toward the top, have made their way and fallen down to the bottom. So as you can imagine, I have to kind of shut the door and just hope for the best in this situation. But today, all that changes. We're going to get this closet cleaned out, decluttered, and organized. So I hope you can find a place in your house and do this along with me. Just find a place that is driving you crazy, has been neglected, needs some work, and clean and declutter along with me. If not, just watch this video now, make yourself comfortable, and gain some inspiration and motivation for a later time. I'm going to be completing this project in one day, but you can totally spread yours out throughout the week. Just get a little bit done each day. That is a great way to make awesome progress. Okay, let's go ahead and get this closet cleaned out. So as I'm clearing off one shelf at a time, I'm unloading it onto my dining table so that I can do just one shelf at a time and not get overwhelmed. One of the biggest deterrents, I think, to decluttering is the amount of mess you're gonna make and how overwhelming it's gonna feel to sort through a whole bunch of stuff at once. And it's very tempting just to kind of abandon the project and, leave a huge mess, which makes it hard to function in your house while you're decluttering. So I'm only unloading one shelf at a time, decluttering that, cleaning it off, so that if something does happen and I have to break away from this project, I'm not leaving my house less functional. I also want to share that I added on these little puck lights. Chad put these on for me, and they are so helpful to see in this closet. There's no electricity or wiring in this closet. And if you mount the control, the little remote, if you put some Velcro on the back, you can mount it to the wall and then it functions just like a light switch. So if you're a renter, or if you just don't want to, do the electrical work to wire everything in, this is just a very easy DIY to get a light working in your closet. I picked these up at Lowe's. You get 3 for $18, so I'll make sure and link them in my description box. So whenever I'm decluttering, I have different categories that I'm working with. So one category would be donations. Another category is going to be trash. Another one is what's going to be kept and go back in the space. And then the last category is what I'm keeping but is going to move to a different location in the house. So I hope that helps you as you're decluttering, just to kind of keep those 4 categories in your mind and maybe just lay them out visually on your table or in a separate area so that you can kind of keep track of what's going where. Let me know in the comments what area of your house is getting out of hand right now. It might be one area, it might be several areas. Let me know what you need to declutter this month and what needs to be worked on.
You can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide, you can bury yourself beneath the stones. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry, somebody's take a breath. Let me be a part of something real. Someone said it's better when you hold on to a helping hand. Sometimes we could all use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright. You'll be
Okay, we are making good progress here. We've got 3 shelves cleaned off, and then I have 1 more and the floor, which the floor is actually probably 2 shelves at least combined because it is just so overflowing. So this is quite the project. I can also see some marks on the wall from colors and markers, so I'll be working on that. And a lot of this just needs to be decluttered. Some of it is trash, some of it can be donations. I will have to look through some of the coloring books to see if they're worth donating or if they've just been filled up too much and just might need to be tossed. So some of it's pretty time consuming. I've sped up the parts where I'm only decluttering, and it's just a lot of stuff. So it hasn't really been tackled in a few years, probably 3 years. And we really don't need all this, but I do want to keep important stuff like Alex's artwork and some of his schoolwork to make a scrapbook later for him. So I am going to go through that real quick. But overall, a lot of this is just older art supplies, dried out Play-Doh. You get the point. So I'm going to continue working on this, and then we'll go shopping and find some organization pieces.
So it's come to this now. Love has turned to blame. All the words we didn't want to say. Slammed doors and broken bottles. Dry tears and foolish pride. Now we're waiting for the break of day. Over and over we fall. Is it too late to carry on? Maybe the too late to carry on. Maybe the trust is too far gone. Don't wanna throw it all away, but we gotta find just a better way to put our defenses to the ground. I'm not gonna go another round. Who can love in the light of fire among these trenches and barbed
We're finally starting to see the light at the end of this tunnel, friends. I am on probably my last big table full of decluttering. I'm moving all of these linens, pillows, blankets, pillow covers to a different closet. I'm gonna go ahead and store those in a separate area and have this primarily be games, art stuff, Play-Doh, Legos, and schoolwork. And then I think at the bottom, I really don't ever want it to get this bad again at the bottom. So I think I'm going to leave that bare and just have a little bit of margin here in the closet. Whenever you fill a space back up after decluttering, it doesn't have to be super full. I like to remind myself that I can have room to grow here. So if he gets new stuff for his birthday or for Easter or over the summer, if we get some new things, there'll actually be space to put them. So I'm planning on having a little extra space in here for us to grow instead of already be busting at the seams before we even, get through the year. So I'm gonna leave the bottom of this blank, but I have an idea to maybe put some tubs down here, larger tubs that I can use for decluttering things around the house or blankets or just anything big that might need to get thrown in here so that there's actually some rhyme and reason to it. Another thing to keep in mind when you are having places like this in your house that are getting overwhelming or bad, they might not be getting as bad as mine. This is like an extreme example, but if they are getting a little bit out of hand, a lot of stuff gets damaged that way. And I've noticed that the more cluttered an area gets, the less you can really see what's in there, and some things get stepped on, some things just get smashed by the door, and a lot of things will just get damaged and in bad repair just because they were in a cluttering situation. So just something to keep in mind. It's hard to keep track of inventory when things are real cluttered and in disarray, and it's also hard to keep them in good condition. But all this is going in the trash can, and we are starting over with a new system. Let's get finished up here so that we can take a little trip to the stores together, see if we can find some nice organization supplies and systems, and see what we can find.
Wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along. I'll be alright. Promise we don't need no brake lights. We can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night, or drinking well by an open fire, make love or fight. This or that. This or that, evenings on the train or catch a morning flight, enjoying dinner until midnight, or bed by night.
Okay, closet's all cleaned out and everything's taken out, and we are ready to organize this closet. So I'm gonna head out to Walmart and Target and we'll see what we can find.
This or wanna see it all. Find the northern lights, see the stars in the open wild, catch a glimpse of Panama. We don't need a map. I'll let you know when we've arrived. Yeah, we can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey.
Okay, so I am back home and Walmart was successful, and I actually found some stuff at Target too, but it was super crazy in there, so I did not film it. But I'm gonna show you guys real quick what I found. So these are the bins that I picked up at Walmart, And I think they'll work really well for like 4 across on one of the shelves. And then I got these little bento boxes because I don't know, I just thought it was like a real affordable way to store like crayons and art supplies and like these little Play-Doh tools, just little things that I could put in a smaller bin and then stick in a larger bin. So I got 2 different sizes of these because they were only $4 a piece. So I thought that was like a really affordable organization idea. And then he was just out of glue, so I picked him up some glue to kind of go with his art stuff. These are the bins from Bright Room. So this is from Target, and these were an excellent price. They were like $4, maybe $4.99, I can't remember, but they were a good deal. They're a really nice size. So I got 4 of these as well. Okay, and then these are the larger bins that I also got from Target. So it's funny because they're like almost exactly like my wall color. I feel like they're just like the perfect warm, neutral, grayish, tan grayish type situation, but they kind of remind me a lot of the walls. But I thought these would be great to put at the bottom just for either decluttering or blankets or just anything like that. Okay, these Target bins had the sticky labels that don't come off easily, which is kind of a pain, but I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting those off real quick. I'm only gonna show 1 bin and then I'll do the rest off camera, but I just peel off as much as I can and then I use the Goo Gone spray and a scrubber and it comes right off. By far my favorite find at Walmart was these bento boxes. So if you go in the meal prep section and the kitchen section, they have these little bento boxes, all different sizes, and they're a great price because you get 5 for I think $4. And as soon as I saw them, I thought these would be great to store art supplies, colored pencils, crayons, his little school glue and scissors and everything, and I can put them all in different bento boxes and then put those in the larger bins. So I'm very happy with the way this worked out. It worked out great for Play-Doh tools. It works out great for markers, everything. So this is wonderful. I'm definitely going to enjoy having these for him to pull out and do his art activities. Loading everything into the bins is such a satisfying feeling because there's way less stuff, and it's nice that everything has its own home, place. We'll know how to keep this organized for the future. Step 1 is always to just have less things to organize. That is the step that we never want to forget. And then having good organization systems that are simple and effective. In this case, I'm using these bins from Target, and I'm not using the lids that they come with because I, for one, am way too ADHD for, to have to go through a bin lid in order to keep things clean. So I prefer just easy open bins where I can open a closet door, stick something in the bin, and then just close the door. And if I needed to stack these bins, I would need the lids, but since they're not being stacked, it works great to just leave them off and just make things simpler to keep organized. So I'm real excited about how functional this closet will be now. I love these zipper pouches that I got on Amazon a few years ago. They're great for puzzles, these magnet tiles, memory games in here, or really anything that the box has gotten damaged or destroyed and you still want to keep it. These are so great to have. Okay, so I'm actually at Target. As I was loading the bins, I realized that I really like the clear ones better than the white ones from Walmart. So I'm coming back here. I'm gonna grab 4 more of the clear bins. They just fit in my space better on the shelf, and I feel like the way they're shaped, they'll end up holding more and being more functional. So they're also a great price. So I figured, you know, it was worth just running out here again real quick, getting 4 more of those, and then all we have to do back at the house is load everything up onto the shelves. So I can't wait to see how it turns out. Well, let's go inside real quick.
Talk to me, baby, I've been waiting for a lifetime. Just keep on fading in all these photos, caught in the memories and captured in the highlights. Just keep on wasting glass after glass. I keep hoping you'll come around, drowning our fights in whatever can be found. 'Cause I've given in to all my demons lately.
Okay, so here is what we have left. We have board games over here, and then I have 8 of these from Target. And we went with 2 for coloring books and activity books. And then I have markers and crayons and all the like colored pencils and stuff in here, which is like all gonna be in this one bin, which is nice. We have Legos in here, and then Play-Doh in here and clay. And then this is his school bin for like stuff I want to keep for scrapbooks. So that is it. So glad this is finally looking better, and now we just have to get it in the closet.
You know, might be easier just to let it go. Cut the cable short and the problem solved. Might be easier for you. I do it all night. You're my only lifeline. Sing for me, darling, it's been quiet for a day now. Can't bear the silence inside my own head. I keep on hoping somehow we can make this alright. Just keep on trying. Glass after glass, I keep hoping you'll come around, drowning our fights in whatever can be found. 'Cause I've given in to all my demons lately. You know, might be easier just to let it go. Cut the cable short and the problem solved. Might be easier for you. I do it all night. You're my only lifeline.
Well, that's a whole lot better. I am so happy with this project and how it turned out. This closet is so much more functional now. I can see everything. These clear bins are just so helpful. And we have room to grow, which is so important. I have this whole top shelf here to grow. I have the bottom bins, and this closet is finally functional, organized, decluttered, and ready to go for the new year. So here is my donation pile and trash pile. We got so much out of here. There's also some things that got moved to a different closet, and Alex approves too. He loves playing and getting the bins out of his art closet. We are gonna go take a look at the closet we're gonna work on today. And then, like I said, at the end, I'll show you the next one, which is gonna be a good one too. Okay, so I finally have a light in here. So this is my cleaning closet, okay? So this is like just literally what it looks like right now. So I have like one wire shelf and that's it, okay? And then this is what falls to the bottom. So here you can see I've got all these things down here. It's a lot of stuff actually. Not much in the middle, so I feel like that might be a waste of space that needs to be structured better. So I'm thinking we need to take down this shelf right here and maybe put a couple of shelves just to kind of access this middle part so that it's not just a waste of space. And then obviously all this stuff on the bottom needs a home, it needs organization. And then all this stuff on the top, yeah, that needs some help and work too. So that is our project for today. So this episode of Dare to Declutter will be the cleaning closet edition. Okay, let's get started. I'm just gonna get everything out of this closet, and I like to use my dining room table as a staging area whenever I'm decluttering or organizing a space. It's a great place to just lay everything out, see it all at once, and know exactly what I have. It usually shows me that I have a lot of stuff and that I need to declutter, but it also gives me a nice flat surface to group things. I like to group like items just to see how much I have of everything and how I might want to organize it once I get my systems in place. I've been wanting to work on this closet for a long time. I've even bought organization products for this closet that I'm just now using. So it's kind of similar to my pantry video that I did recently, that situation where I thought I was going to organize it at the time, and then life got crazy and I wasn't able to organize it. So this is the day, this is Cleaning Closet's lucky day, because it finally gets to get organized and decluttered, and I'm gonna try to use some of the products that I already have. I have these great clear acrylic bins that I can just peel off the stickers, get them cleaned, and get them ready to go. And then I ordered some turntables and another little wall organizer that I'll show you guys in just a little bit. So I'll keep working on this and we'll see what kind of progress we can make today. This might end up being a 2-day project. Okay, so the closet is all cleaned out, and this is what I pulled out of that closet. So lots of equipment, cleaning supplies. Some barely have anything left in them and just need to be tossed. Other things I just have not used in months or even over a year. And so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this table right here. I also have these shelving boards and kind of a shelving unit that I picked up from Home Depot. So if you guys remember, for my activity closet makeover, I'm using the same kind of closet system that I used for that one. And the reason being, it is just so easy to put up, and then it's also just easy to adjust the shelves at any time. So you don't have to be worried about, maybe choosing shelf distances that aren't correct or that your needs might change over time. These you can change at any time, just very, very easily. You just kind of adjust the brackets up and down the channel and you're ready to go. So I'll show you guys later on in the video what that looks like. Chad and I are going to get those into the cleaning closet. But that is one of the later steps. Right now, I just want to get everything decluttered and organized, kind of get my systems going and kind of get a feel for what's going to go back in the closet. Here I'm just showing you some of the products that I'm planning on using that I already have. So I have these square acrylic bins. These are from Walmart. And then I have this that I ordered on Amazon. I'll link everything in my description box if you're looking for similar products. But I plan on putting the brooms and the mops on that organizer that I just showed you. And then I ordered these little plastic turntables off of Amazon. And I feel like I can put like maybe everyday cleaning products on there so that I can just spin them around easily and see what I'm grabbing. But I'm gonna work on getting this entire table decluttered, and I'm gonna try to group like items in the same area so that I can kind of see what all I have and how it might be organized best. You guys let me know in the comments what you're working on right now in your house. I know you guys love this series. I always get great comments about how much you're enjoying the Dare to Declutter series and that it's helping inspire you to get some areas done in your house. So let me know what areas are, you working on right now, what has gotten out of hand. I always love just keeping up with you guys and feeling like we're doing this together. Okay, all of my decluttering and sorting is all done, and this is what I'm left with. So I'm showing you the table from different angles so you can kind of see what all I kept and what is going back in the cleaning closet. Now it's time to pull out the old shelves from the cleaning closet, get them thrown out, and then I need to clean this closet out really well, and then we'll do some wall work. So I'm definitely going to need to do some spackling here because of all the holes that this is going to expose. And I also would like to paint this closet. I've got some paint in the garage, so that's going to be really convenient. I've got trim paint and wall paint. So we'll see how bad it looks, but I feel like this closet has gotten pretty nicked up and dinged up, and it's just not looking its best. So I feel like a fresh coat of paint will make this space just even more complete and nice looking. Okay, while I get this floor taped off for painting, I just wanted to introduce myself if you're new here. My name is Jenny, and I love to make videos here on this channel about all things home and lifestyle. I love to create inspiration for intentional living, editing your home and life to feel calmer and happier. And I love to share content about my house and house projects, homemaking, home resets, just anything home related, as well as a few lifestyle and routine videos to keep everything going. So if that's the kind of content you like to watch, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. We can become friends, and that way I can see you again on the next video. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me today and joining me on this video. I hope you're enjoying it. And if you are enjoying it, please don't forget to give it a like. That really helps my channel out a lot. So I hope that you'll subscribe and stay a while. So my husband Chad and I are in a transition right now where we are trying to get the house ready to sell eventually. So I think we're going to be putting it up on the market possibly either the end of this year or next year. We're not really sure yet. Right now we're focusing on selling his home in Tennessee because he's from Tennessee. But we do need to sell this home eventually and find a place of our own. So we are just using this time to get all of these projects done that I've been wanting to do for years and just haven't been able to do. And it just kind of works out well because the projects are finally getting done, which is a wonderful feeling. But it's also great to know that we're also getting this house really nice and ready to go for whoever ends up buying it. It'll make the house, show better when we do open houses and when people walk through. It's going to make it more functional for them and hopefully prettier for them as well. I have put a lot of love into this house over the last 15 years, but I have not been able to get everything done that I've wanted to do. And so this is a great time to just, work on this house, give it some love, and hopefully it can be enjoyed by another family coming in one day to make it their own. And that just gives me such a great feeling. So I'm trying to do my best to kind of give it just that last bit of attention before we move on to a place of our own. So much has happened in this house over the last 15 years. Good things, bad things, everything in between. And I am ready for a new start and a reset. And I'm just so grateful that we're finally getting this house ready so that we can move on to something different in the future. But here I went over to the hardware store. I think this was Lowe's, and I wanted to pick up just a few more little paint supplies, just basic stuff just to get through the project. And then I needed some more brackets because we ended up deciding to put these shelves in our hall closet as well, which is like the towel closet. So I'm actually going to add that to the end of this video. These are the boards that I like to use for these projects. They are white, but they're MDF on the inside, so they're a lot less expensive. And then they will cut the boards for you at Home Depot, or at Lowe's as well, which is very convenient. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of this project. So today is all about getting this closet painted, and the spackle was able to dry overnight, so that was really convenient. Now it's just time to roll these walls. Baseboards are already painted, and then once this dries, Chad and I will get in here and put up the new shelving units. We have to put the channels in, so we have to find the studs for those channels to be secure in here. And then after that, it's just about placing the brackets and then getting the shelves at the levels that you want them at. So it just takes a little trial and error to get everything exactly how you want it. But again, that's why I love this shelf system, getting these little tracks that go into the walls and stay there, and then that way you can place the brackets at whatever heights you want for the shelf spacing. And it's easy to change out anytime. Like tomorrow, if I change my mind and I want the shelves to be different spacing, I can literally just go in there, move the brackets, and change the height of the shelves or the spacing of the shelves. So I just find these to be very easy to work with, very forgiving, and just very compatible with whatever I'm doing in any given closet. Highly I recommend doing it this way. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's in the closet organization section. So here's what it looked like when we were done, and this is the spacing I chose for now. I think this is going to work well with this little organizer for the broom and the mops, and I think this will all be a good height. I kind of worked with the height that I needed for that broom and mop organizer first, and then worked my way up from there because I need them to have enough room to hang. So I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and get the bins all cleaned off and loaded up, and then we'll try it out and we'll see how everything fits. Chad was making me laugh here because he was back in the office, and when I sprayed the cleaner into the bin, he said, "God bless you," because he thought I was sneezing, and it just made me laugh. So I'm not really just laughing at myself, I'm actually listening to what he was saying. Kind of had an idea of how I wanted to organize things as I was putting them in, but it's always kind of something you just have to play around with a little bit until you get it the way you want it. But kind of working with the idea that I'd have all my cleaning cloths in one, and then I would put like scrubbers and mop heads in the other one, and then I have a couple of bins that I'm storing like just bulk items, or there's like some small appliances. Like I have this little mini vacuum, like a handheld vacuum, scrub brush. That's what is that one? Oh, that's the fabric pillar in the gray pouch. That's the one where I can, do my sofa when it starts to pill. And then the little electric toothbrush, Rubbermaid one. I just figure all those kind of go together. They're all kind of battery operated products. And then there's my duster heads and lint rollers. I even put the sewing kit up there. It's actually, I'm able to store quite a bit of things. So I love how it's all in clear bins so that I can easily see what is up there and know which bin to grab down. Okay, so the idea that I had with these turntables is that I just didn't want all my products to kind of get lost in the shelf, like all the products that would be in the back. And so I thought having something that could spin would be easier to see it, kind of like I did with my sauces in the pantry. So I love this. I've been using it for about a week now and I totally love it. I don't want to put all of them on here, but just a nice assortment so that I've got a good variety of all the different cleaners that I use. And then the rest of them, or any, back stock or inventory ones, can go to the sides if I have like multiple of the same product. So I love this. It's been working really well. So here's some clips of how the shelves came out. So they're all filled up, organized, and ready to go. I also have a little cleaning caddy over to the side here where I can pick products that go in a particular room if I'm about to go clean it, stick them in the caddy and head over to the room, and that just makes cleaning so much easier. And then now that I've got these two shelves all situated, I'm moving on to the lower part of the closet. You guys remember I said I wanted to add more organization to this middle part because I feel like it's just wasted space and not being used. So I'm just adding a command hook right here so that I can hang a small ironing board. I went ahead and got rid of my big, huge ironing board. It was getting old and very rickety, and I went to Walmart and picked up one of these really small ones, the tabletop ironing boards, which I think is going to be so convenient and easy to store. And then we installed this little rack in the middle to kind of make use of this middle section and hang brooms and mops and the dustpan. And I didn't realize when I bought it, but it even has hooks as well in between those little clamps. So I can put the feather dusters on the hooks. So I just thought that was so convenient. And I love that they slide back and forth so that you can decide where you want it to be placed. So right here, I'm showing you again the before of the closet so that we can kind of fully appreciate where we started with this closet. And then I will show you some more clips of the after. And again, I am just so happy with it. Now that this closet is all finished, we're gonna go ahead and work on the towel closet real quick since that's an added project. But first, I'm gonna show you guys my garage, which is the next Dare to Declutter project, and it is super messy, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in there right now. Okay, and for the next project, which, as you guys have probably figured out, it's the dreaded garage. Oh my goodness. Y'all, this is so bad. And I'm definitely showing you this as is. I'm not fixing it or making it look any better. It's the worst it's ever been, to be honest. I think it's the worst it's ever been. It's been pretty bad though, so who knows? Maybe it's not the worst it's ever been, but it's pretty bad. So this is my hoarder garage right now. And I say that kind of jokingly because I think a hoarder would actually really care about all this stuff and like not want to get rid of it, but I am very, very excited to get rid of it and just make space for the things I truly want to keep. A lot of this is just stuff that I have not had time to go through, or things that I just don't know where to put or just need to sell or give away and just haven't gotten around to it. So this is definitely not anything I'm like overly attached to. Some of it is, some of it's probably important. But a lot of this is just stuff that needs to be sorted through and needs a home. So we're gonna tackle this together and it's gonna be good. It's going to be great, actually. I think it's going to be an amazing transformation. So basically the same process for this towel closet as we did in the cleaning closet, and that is just getting the walls prepped, getting the old shelves out, putting in the new shelves in, and decluttering whatever's in there. So I like to use this primarily to store towels, but then I also have one shelf that we dedicate to like first aid stuff, medicine, and I even put like all my manicure and pedicure stuff in there because I don't really have any place else to store it in my bathroom. So we don't have a ton of medicines or anything like that. And a lot of things just expire so quickly. So I don't keep a ton of space for medicine purposes, but I do like to reserve one shelf for things like this, even sunscreen, nail polish remover, Kleenexes, just little things like personal care related items that we want to have easy access to. So I'm just going to declutter all these real quick, make sure everything's in working order and also isn't expired. And I'll get these bins cleaned off and then we'll get it all put back in the closet. Also, if you're wondering why our table is turned the other way, it's just because we're getting new countertops in about a couple weeks and we're adding on a little bar area, which is going to be next to this table with a couple of bar stools. And so having the table run lengthwise like this is just going to give us more room in that bar seating area. Chad is the floor guy in our house, so he does a great job at all the floor care, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, and he just gets on it. So as soon as I sat down to take a break, he was up and getting all that done, which I totally appreciate. And then I'm not going to actually roll paint the inside of this closet because it was in pretty good shape actually. I didn't see anything major, so I just did the touch-up painting and then got these shelves put in. And I'm going to spare you like the entire process of this whole closet because it's so similar to the one we just did. But I will go ahead and just kind of throw everything in there and show you the after shots. So glad to get this done. So glad it's off of my project list, and we have 2 clean and organized closets. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I really need to declutter my closet. Here is the current situation. I'm gonna show you some clips of what my closet looks like. Right now my closet is kind of telling the story of tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD because I have piles of clothes everywhere. So one thing that's going on is that we're changing seasons from winter to spring, and the weather's been crazy and all over the place, which I'm sure you can relate to. It's like there's fake spring and then real spring, and I've been bringing things down more spring and summer related to wear on the warm days, but then I still have all the winter down where I can get it. Usually I put off-season clothes up at the top of my closet, but they're all kind of everywhere right now. There's hardly anything at the top of the closet, which means I pretty much have all of my clothes either hanging up or in piles somewhere in my closet. The other thing that's been going on is I've changed sizes quite a bit in the last 15 months or so. So I've gone from pretty much like a size 16 to a size 6. And so I have a lot of different size options in my closet right now, and I definitely need to donate those so that someone else can use them. My plan is to make a donation pile, an off-season pile where I put them back at the top of my closet, and then I'm definitely gonna have a pile of undecided clothes that I'm just not quite sure about. These are clothes that I have not been reaching for, but I'm not even sure why. So I plan on having a pile of try-ons that I can try on at the end, and I'm really hoping you'll stay tuned to the end and help me decide what to keep and what to donate. So if you love a good transformation video like I do, give this video a thumbs up and we'll get right to it. So what I like to do is just take a little bit out of the closet at a time. If I took everything out of the closet all at once and put it on the bed, it might make for a really cool opening clip for the video, but it's not going to be practical for me to sort through, and it's going to get in my way and it'll be overwhelming. So definitely would recommend just taking out a little bit at a time, sorting through, and then grabbing some more when you're done with that. And that way it's just a little bit easier to manage. So as you can see, I've got my keep pile right here to my right, and then I've got the maybe pile on the edge of the bed. And that way, if it takes me too long to decide to keep or declutter something, I'll just throw it in the maybe pile and I'm not wasting too much time. So here I've got my donate pile going, and then right here is my maybe pile. So that one's got a few things in it, and then this is my keep pile. And I am sorting through workout clothes as well. So this is regular clothes and workout clothes. The only thing I'm not going through is the things in my dresser, which are like pajamas, bras, underwear, socks. I'm just going through the clothes in my closet, and I do keep my workout clothes in my closet. Chad and I were at Home Goods the other day shopping, and he mentioned we should probably get a couple of packs of hangers because we've been running short on hangers. He's like, I don't know where all our hangers are. And I said, no, we can't get any more hangers. I just need to declutter my closet. That is what I'm doing today. I'm not only getting my wardrobe all ready for spring and summer, but I'm also giving my household more hangers so that we don't have to just keep buying more. So that's always like a good bonus to the decluttering process, is you will have extra hangers. Inevitably, when you're decluttering, you might come across a sentimental item or an item that kind of pulls on your heartstrings and you're not sure what to do with. And that's what's happening right here. So I came across the engagement dress that I wore when my late husband proposed to me. And then I also wore that for his funeral. And so that is still in my closet, like all the way to the very back. I don't often see it. This is the hanger that my old wedding dress used to hang on, which is also kind of like a keepsake from that life. And I definitely don't want this hanging in my closet anymore. Definitely want to move forward and live in my current life, in my current chapter. But at the same time, I'm not going to pressure myself to completely get rid of items like this. So I just have a tote in the garage that I can keep special things like this, and that way I can make those kinds of decisions later, and it's really not going to hurt anything. Okay, just between me and you, I think I'm already keeping a little bit too much. My keep pile is a lot bigger than I thought it would be, and I still have all the clothes that are on the floor and on my shoe rack. Don't want a huge clothing closet. I do want it to be a little more on the minimal side, not like super minimal, but I want it to be less overwhelming when I open up my closet and look inside to see what I have. I don't want to have to go through so many pieces. So I definitely think that what I'm going to do is just keep doing like I'm doing, but then I'm going to go through a second time on the keep pile and just be a little more ruthless. So let's continue decluttering and then plan to do that after. Okay, that is a lot of stuff. So I have way more clothes than I thought I had. I think of myself as so kind of minimal with things, especially in my home. And I just cannot believe how many clothes I have accumulated with, like I said, the change of seasons, being different sizes for the past 15 months, like so many different sizes. I just had no idea it had gotten this bad until it did. So I'm really glad I'm doing this today. I'm gonna take a quick lunch break, and then when I come back, I'm going to declutter this keep pile one more time just to make sure that I'm being serious about getting rid of some of this stuff. And then based on what I have left from my maybe pile and my declutter pile, I'll go ahead and try on my maybe pile with you guys, and then we'll get the donation pile all bagged up so that I can take it today. I do not want it sitting around to where I might still keep things. I want to make sure I get it out of the house today, out of sight, out of mind. So I will be right back. Okay, now I'm just going to take a couple minutes and go through my keep pile one more time just to make sure I'm really, truly, thoroughly decluttering. I want to kind of grow the maybe pile right now because I'd rather have it in the maybe pile, and that way it has the possibility of getting donated. The keep pile is obviously going to be kept, so the more I can put in the maybe pile right now, the better, and even get some more things in the donate pile possibly. So just trying to thin this out just a little bit because, like I said, I do want more of a minimal closet. It doesn't have to be exactly like a minimal person or, whatever that means, but I do want it to be way more minimal than it was before. And I always enjoy my closet more like that. It's amazing how the fewer clothes I have, the more I feel like I have to wear when I go in my closet. I just find that so interesting. So it's like easier to see the options that I have and the clothes that I have when there's less of them. Let me know in the comments if you like to go through your closet seasonally or once a year, maybe in January, or how you like to do it to keep your closet reset, freshened up, and ready to go for a new season. Okay, so I'm all done sorting. Here are my final piles. So here on the right is my donate pile. I'm so glad that that's really high. I'm really glad someone will be able to use those. And then here's my maybe pile. So we will try on those together in just a second. And then over here to the left is my keep pile, and that's my jackets, my clothes, and all my workout clothes behind there. So that's all getting kept. So I'm really happy with what I was able to get into the donate pile. And then let's go ahead and try on the maybe pile. Okay, so here's the first shirt. And please excuse me, I'm definitely not like a fashion vlogger or anything like that. So I don't know how to like film this properly. It's kind of hard with it going horizontally to kind of show you the full picture, but just bear with me. I'll do the best I can. But this is the first shirt. And I feel like the reason this is just a maybe for me is because I don't know how I feel about like this open part. You know, I feel like my bra straps show, and I don't like go for this one because of that. It's a good spring and summer shirt, I think, with the color being navy. I still have the tags on because I technically can still return it. I just ordered it recently. So I haven't like fully decided if I'm keeping it yet. So if you have an opinion on that and think yes or no. But overall, I think it fits decent. Real lightweight, like a linen material, which I like. You can pull it out, or you could like maybe possibly front tuck it, or I don't know. So anyway, that's the first one. Let me know. Okay, this one is, I don't think it's see-through. Let me know if it is. I hope it's not because I'm on the internet. But I mean, it kind of is. Like I can definitely see my bra. Oh yeah, it is see-through. Okay, yeah, so this is see-through. I don't know, this one's like older. I've had this one for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years at this point. And it used to just fit a little smaller, I think. And now it's just bigger. I don't know. I've always held on to it because I thought it was cute, like open weave, navy and white. Just kind of cute for like summer if you're, you know, wearing a tank top or shorts and then you throw this over it because you get chilly in a restaurant, or maybe even throw over your swimsuit. I kind of feel like this is good to have. Almost more in the cover-up category, I guess, or just like a layering piece when you get a little cold in the summer. So I'm starting to see a pattern here. I have a lot of navy shirts for my spring and summer wardrobe. So please let me know in the comments which navy short sleeve shirt is your favorite, if you think I should keep any of them. So this one is more like the little crocheted sleeves, which like I don't actually know if that's 100% in style or that's something I should let go. This one is from a few years back, so I won't be able to return it, but I could at least donate it for someone else to enjoy if I don't end up keeping it this year. Okay, and here's the last navy shirt. Actually, there is one more that's like a really dark jean material, but this is the last one that's like a t-shirt material. So it's got a little slit right here, and it's got a little pocket right here, and yeah, it's just a little comfortable. It has like rolled up sleeves that are sewn in. So good basic, fits good, feels good. But again, I don't need this many navy shirts, so I just need to pare them down for sure. Okay, I'm definitely leaning toward decluttering this one. It just doesn't feel like me. Like I'm not, it's very long. Let's see if you can see. It's very long, and I'm not short. So I'm about 5'8" for reference. So I don't know why it's so long. I mean, obviously you could tuck it in, but it would be a lot of material to tuck in. It's pretty long. So, and it's kind of a heavy jean material for summer, like going into spring and summer. I just feel like it's gonna be heavy, hot. And if I don't love it, I'm probably not going to reach for it every single time. So I'd be really surprised if I did keep this one. But on somebody, I think this would be really cute. This one is a fall sweater. I live in Louisiana, and so like there's definitely a milder fall and winter. And I think the idea of a short sleeve sweater is probably a good idea to have since it doesn't get super cold, but at least you can kind of feel more cozy and fall-like. So that was the idea behind this one. I'm just not sure about the color. It's kind of like a, I don't know, what do you call this? Like a cinnamon color. It's like an orangey brown. It's really cute. I mean, I like it. I think it fits good. It's comfortable. I'm just not sure about the color or if it's just not my color. So let me know what you think about this one. So, because it could just be right sweater, wrong color, or vice versa. Not really sure. Okay, this one still has tags, so I can still return it if I need to. It's a newer purchase. So that's what it looks like. It's a white waffle knit shirt with like open lace on the sleeves. Again, not sure if that's really the look I should be going for right now or if it's kind of going out. So I don't know. Just trying to think of light and summery things to kind of go into summer. And I just, when I put it on, I just wasn't sure. It just didn't strike me as like a for sure yes or a for sure no. So, okay, this one's just a black and white tank from Target. I like it and I've worn it a few times, so I've had it for a while. I don't know, I don't go for it a ton. Black and white stripes is not my normal style. I guess I always go for like softer, more muted colors, not quite so high contrast. So let me know what you think about keeping this for the summer and maybe doing like with jean shorts or black shorts. It could be a good basic to have, so just not sure. And then while I have something on underneath, I'll go ahead and try on this jean jacket. So you guys can see my jean jacket. I've had it for a while actually, but it's a good basic to have, I think. So just want to make sure that it's a good one to, you know, take into spring and summer. Again, many, many springs and summers. I don't know, but it's a very traditional cut, waist length, I guess, jean jacket. So yeah. Okay, this one is a green, tan, and white dress. Kind of like a, I think it's pretty long. It's, let me see if I can go back far enough. But yeah, I think this is kind of like mid calf length for me. But I think it's really cute. I think I would like to keep this for spring and summer. I think it would be great, you know, for a vacation or a date night or a shopping day and just, you know, wear tennis shoes or put sandals on or wedges and dress it up a little bit. So I don't know, what do you guys think? I think this one's still cute. And this one I just ordered recently and I ordered it for Mother's Day. So I usually do like a Mother's Day brunch with friends. And so I thought this would be really cute. So again, longer, it goes down to my mid calf. And the only thing about this that I have to decide on is that it's totally different than the colors I usually wear. I think I just ultimately need to decide if I like the pink and the navy. So far I think I like it, but definitely would love to know your thoughts on this one. I love the color of this shirt. This is from Target. I love the color. It's from last year. And the little buttons, that is so cute. What I don't love is that it's kind of like real loose and stretchy everywhere, but I just don't love the way the sleeves just feel a little bit too loose, like it's not structured enough. So anyway, that's this one. And while I had that summer shirt on, I just wanted to throw on this cardigan. This is a very lightweight, kind of see-through open weave summer cardigan, which I think is real good to have. It's pretty long, it has the pockets. It might not be like cutting edge style or anything, but I do feel like it's practical and, you know, a good thing to have. Again, if you're going about your day in the summer and you go into a restaurant with AC on, you get cold, or it gets cooler at night in the summer sometimes, and you want to just throw on a sweater with your outfit. So might keep this one just for that. Okay, and I just have 2 pairs of shorts to try on to see if I want to keep them for summer. So this is the first pair. It's just darker denim and it has like a roll up. So anyway, I have these, so just not sure. Okay, I moved the camera down a little bit. I also have these white shorts at the fringe. These are from Walmart from last year. And yeah, let me know if I should keep those. I also have this polo shirt that I've been hanging on to for like 20 something years. And I literally don't even know why. It's just something I got at probably the outlet store in Florida one year. I was in my 20s or 30s, or I don't even know. But yeah, it's just like a blue and white striped polo, like traditional polo. So it could work as like a little overshirt, like if I get cold. I don't know. I haven't reached for it in a really long time. So anyway, again, thank you so much for helping me with these decisions. It is totally making me feel much better about this and not so overwhelmed But now it's time to get rid of all these clothes on the bed, put them in their proper places, and then I need to finish in here, and then we need to give it a clean. Okay, friends, we are moving right along here. So I had to get some coffee and take a little tiny break. I feel like this is definitely more of like an ongoing day project. But I do have these bins from the top of my closet. So these are the bins that I normally keep my off-season clothes in. And I only have 3 right now because the other 2 are being used to store other items like YouTube equipment and some other things. So I'm really hoping that I can just fit my off-season things in these 3 since I have decluttered. We're about to find out. I'm gonna go ahead and load these up for the top of my closet with fall and winter. If we do end up having a few cool days, I can always, pull something down. Hopefully I will put it back up there and not just leave it on the floor this time. In any case, I'm gonna go ahead and get my off-season stuff put up in the top of the closet. I'm so happy that I was able to fit all of my off-season clothes in these 3 white bins. That means I've done some serious decluttering. So now I just kind of need to make sense of all this stuff that I'm keeping, make sure it's back on hangers. Right now I'm going to get these off-season things put back up in the closet, and then we still need to declutter shoes and clean up the rest of this closet. So my plan for the shoes is just to pull them all off of the shoe rack, since I know I have to clean this shoe rack and clean the baseboard behind it and underneath and everything. And then I'm only going to put back the shoes that I plan on keeping. Hopefully I'll at least be able to declutter a couple of pairs of shoes, but I really don't have a ton of shoes. I don't think it's like a huge storage problem or anything, but I think I'll be able to declutter at least a couple pair. Over here on the left side of the wall, I have purses hanging up here, bags, belt packs, and I have maybe a couple things to declutter, but there's not much up here. But it is a real handy way to store things that I just want to hang on a hook real quick. I also sometimes put hoodies over here to grab to go to the gym or things like that. But over here on these shelves, I kind of use this as backstock for my bathroom. I don't have a ton of storage space in there, so I like to use these shelves as overflow. So I'll declutter through these, and then I'm hoping to get all of the bathroom backstock up on this top shelf and then reserve the second shelf for like hats and gloves and other accessories. As I get everything out of the closet so that I can sweep and mop, I just wanted to say thank you so much for making it this far into this video. This video is a little on the longer side, so I appreciate you so much. I hope that means you're enjoying the content, feeling inspired to create clean and calm spaces in your own home. I do post on this channel about once a week, so if you're interested, I would love to have you as a subscriber. And that means I will get to see you again on a future video. Make sure you hit that bell when you subscribe so that you'll be notified and you don't miss any future videos. Again, thank you so much for watching and commenting, subscribing, hitting the like button. All of that helps to support my channel, so I appreciate it so much. Here on this channel, I love to share home content like organizing, decluttering, cleaning, decorating, and home projects, DIYs. I just love creating clean and calm spaces. I love just working inside my home and trying to kind of make it simpler and more manageable and more enjoyable to be in. So again, I hope you're liking the content, and thank you so much for being here. Wow, friends, I ended up decluttering 4.5 bags of clothes, and here are all the bonus hangers that my husband will be so happy about that we now have. And here is my clean and calm closet. So I am so happy with it. Absolutely love it. I'm very excited to start putting together outfits for spring and summer. Okay, so let's get started here. The first step is just to get everything out of this pantry. So I'm just using my kitchen counters to get everything out so that we can remove these old shelves and get started on the painting. So this is gonna have to be done in stages and it's gonna take several days, but I am so excited about this project. It is long overdue. We've been in this house about 15 years and it's a pretty small pantry, as you can see. So it has not always been an efficient way to store anything. I've never really felt like I've had enough room or good enough organization systems in here. So I am very excited to be finally getting this done. If you like home content like cleaning, organizing, decorating, decluttering, home projects, all things home, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video. The bulk majority content I have here on this channel is home related, and I like to share inspiration for how to keep a clean and calm home, a home that brings you joy and works for you instead of against you. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Introduce yourself in the comments if you're new, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so glad to see you. While the spackle is drying, I'm going to head to Home Depot and grab some paint. So I'm going to pick up 1 can of the interior satin enamel paint to do the trim work. I'm going to repaint these baseboards and paint the trim around this door because it really does need it. So I got a can of that, and then I also got a can of our wall paint, which I get questions about a lot, and it's by Behr and it's called Sculptor's Clay. It's a really nice neutral wall color that I find goes with so many wood tones, tile tones. It's just very friendly and goes very well with a lot of different tones because it's got warm and cool tones in it. So I really like this paint and definitely recommend it if you're looking for a good neutral. To me, I've always kind of found painting to be pretty relaxing. It's something that I really don't mind doing at all, and I usually would just put on some music that I really like all my favorites from my playlist, and I'll just kind of get lost in my thoughts and just kind of, I don't know, it's like the time doesn't pass the same way, and I'll just kind of get lost in painting, and it's really kind of therapeutic for me. I really do like the before and after of seeing just the primed walls or just the chipped paint, and then I get to cover it up and make it beautiful again and give it new life. So I've always kind of enjoyed painting because it's almost like that instant gratification of seeing something being restored. Now that I've got these baseboards painted and all the trim work or framework painted, it's time for my wall color. So this is the stain blocking paint and primer by Behr, and usually just 1 coat is enough, especially on these walls, which are just primed white. And I'm using a narrow foam roller and tray to get this on the walls. As I was painting here, I was thinking about everything that this pantry has gone through in our house and all of the different ideas that I had. Some came true, some did not, and just all of the different transitions that we've gone through as a family with this one pantry. And it's interesting that a home can kind of tell a story of, different seasons of life and what you've gone through. I know when we first moved in, probably a couple years into it, we had removed the bottom shelf because we wanted to put our trash can in here. So that's why the bottom shelf is missing. And now we have our trash can in one of our kitchen cabinet pullouts. So now I'm kind of wishing we still had that extra shelf, which will get fixed on this project. And a couple of Christmases ago, my parents gave me some really nice organizers for the pantry, and I'm finally going to be able to use those on this project. So I'm so glad that I saved them because they're going to really come in handy. So stay tuned, and we are going to get this pantry not only back to functioning, but looking nice too. Okay, so now it's time for the fun part. My husband and I took a trip to Lowe's and we picked up some melamine shelves. These are kind of pre-painted white composite shelves, the same shelves that I used in the activity closet. If you guys watched that video where I redid the activity closet, we're also getting these little channel pieces that get screwed into the wall, and then these brackets go in so that the shelves will be adjustable. That was really important to me, to have adjustable shelves in this pantry, because it's really hard to know exactly how you want your spacing to be done. And if you want to max out your storage space in any area, having adjustable shelves is a really good tip to achieve that. That way each shelf can be only as wide as it needs to be to hold whatever you plan on putting on those shelves. And if your needs ever change, you can always just move the brackets and change the spacing. So here I am just kind of feeling this out, just putting the brackets in, putting some shelves up, and just figuring out how I want my spacing. And this is what I ended up doing. Now for an even more fun part of this project is going shopping for some organizational things. So I really like these baskets from At Home. They're very big and deep, and they really fit my space in a very custom way. Of course, I had taken measurements before I went to the store so that I knew what to get. I had categories in my mind of what kinds of things I will be storing and whether that's small, medium, or large. And don't forget to check different sections of the store. I found these in the fridge organization section, but I'll be using them in my pantry. Once I got home, I had to unload the pantry once again so that I could use the new organizers. And I was showing you a little clip of Alex and Chad getting the new door on, because we did put a new door. So this is what I had gotten for Christmas from my parents that I had picked out on Amazon a couple of years ago. If it's still around, I will link it in my description box, but it's canisters for spices and a little stair step rack for them. So we'll see how I end up using those. I also picked a couple of these fridge bins up. I got 4 of them, thinking that they would be great for little boxes and snack packets and middle-sized items. And then I'm keeping these organizers that I had already for really small items like Alex's school snacks. And these were bought at Hobby Lobby. I picked up 2 of these like sealed canisters that I thought would be great for cereal and oatmeal. So I only got 2 because we really don't decant a whole lot of things in our pantry. I don't find that to be super convenient, so 2 is plenty. And then I have these 2 large turntables that I plan on using for my sauces and also for spices possibly if I don't use that little stair step rack. So I got these off of Amazon. Again, we'll link in my description box. But I'm gonna start out here by loading up this 1 bin. These 2 large gray bins I already had. They're also from Hobby Lobby. So one of them is gonna be baking items. I don't tend to pull that down every day. We only bake occasionally. So there's really no reason to take up like the prime shelving in my pantry. So these will all go in a bin and go at the top. Having a small pantry means I want to maximize all the space for the things that I need on a regular basis, and then make sure and utilize this top shelf, which won't be as easy to get to for things that I only need occasionally. And then for the other large gray bin, I'm using that for extra snacks, especially snacks that I don't want Alex going in and getting himself, like chips and crackers, things that my husband and I like to do for our charcuterie boards when we do like stay in date nights. We just kind of want this up and out of the way so that he's not constantly grabbing for this kind of stuff, that he has permission to have those things. And then in these middle shelves, I'm going to focus on my pantry staples, the things that I'm reaching in and grabbing all the time on a daily basis and have easy access to. Now it's time to get these spice canisters loaded up. So these are the old labels, the ones that came with the canisters, but I ordered these off of Amazon because they're round and I can put them on the top, because I had decided that I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the turntable, and that way I can just fit way more in there. My shelves are about 16 inches deep, and I could not figure out a way to properly use the depth of the shelves using those little staircase ones. If I was putting them in a kitchen cabinet, I think that that would work really well. But since I have all of that depth and space, I feel like the turntable is going to be so much easier, and I can just spin it around, look at the top, and see which spice I need to grab out while I'm cooking. And at the time of recording this, I've already been using this method for a couple of weeks now, and it is so awesome. I absolutely love using these spice jars, and they're really nice. You can get your measuring spoon down in there when you're doing a recipe, and it's just a lot easier. I can really easily see what I have, and they're not just this big jumbled mess in one of those bins. So here's what it looks like when it comes in the mail from Amazon. It's nicely packaged in foam so that they don't break, and I just wanted to give these a nice wash and get them loaded up. It was actually very fun to do this. It was very satisfying to see all the different colors and spices go in their jars and get a nice new label. While those are drying, I'll go ahead and load up these refrigerator bins. These actually came in very handy. I'm so glad I picked these up. So these mac and cheese boxes for Alex, couscous, spaghetti noodles, just anything in a box fit perfectly. And then for this other one, I'm just gonna take all the packets we have that were just scattered throughout the pantry and just have them all in one place, whether that's 90-second rice, granola, seasoning packets, mixed nuts, just whatever is in a packet will go in this little bin. And again, this is just working so nicely that I know where to look when I'm searching for a particular item. For the last 2 bins, I'm gonna go ahead and dedicate those to potatoes and onions, just again, so that I can have really easy access to getting those out while I'm cooking. I'm hoping that having this cereal and oats in these canisters will just kind of like extend their lifetime a little bit, make sure that they stay fresh and don't go stale, because we don't eat a ton of cereal and oats. We don't go through them very quickly. So I just want to make sure that they stay fresh as long as possible. Now for this bottom shelf of bins, I'm going to use the bins that I already had and load up some of Alex's favorite snacks and all the snacks that we get for him to bring to school. So he has to bring 2 school snacks each day, and then when he gets home from school, he always wants to grab a snack before he plays with his friends. So I felt like this is a very easy way for him to kind of grab a snack that he needs, snacks that I've already approved of him having. He doesn't really need to ask. He'll just ask, like, can I get a snack? And then I'll send him to the pantry. But he doesn't need to ask beyond that. And we just keep them, at his height where he can grab them out easily. He can share with a friend. And I just love having this dedicated shelf for all of his snacks. And then I also have a bin for our protein bars, granola bars, and things that other people like to eat as well. You can see here in this clip that I already have the bottom bins loaded with bulk items and restock items. So anything that's really large we can put here at the bottom, and anything that is a backup like barbecue sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, that's a backup for condiments that we have in the fridge. I also have a ton of K-cups in here so that I always have coffee on hand, and those bottom bulk bins have been wonderful to have. For this last turntable, I'm going to do sauces, vinegars, oils, anything that I cook with on a regular basis, hot sauce, spray oils, just all those things. So this will be so convenient. It has been so convenient as I'm cooking or fixing lunch to be able to spin this around and just find whatever I need, and it just makes it so easy. I highly recommend, if you have deep shelves, to get some kind of turntable, whether that's in your fridge or pantry, because it really helps you maximize that space without things getting lost in the back. So the labels that I ordered, it literally comes with hundreds of labels, and many of those spices I don't even use or intend to use. So I just picked like my top 20 spices that I use on a regular basis for cooking. Any baking spices I went and put in the baking basket because I won't use those as frequently. But for the cooking spices, I picked my top 20 that I always use and want to reach for, and chose those. And that way I could just fit them all on the turntable and just really focus on the things that I use the most. I'm hoping that by sharing this, I can inspire you to create spaces in your home that not only work for you functionally, but also look nice and look clean and calm and just decluttered and ready to go, and just bring you a sense of calm and peace while you're living in your house. I will say that I have been living with this new pantry, now that it's done as I'm recording this voiceover, for about 2 weeks now, and it has made my life so much easier. I am so amazed at how I enjoy cooking more. I enjoy grocery shopping more because I know where everything goes. Everything has a place, and it is just a wonderful feeling. So I highly encourage you to take the extra time to work on these spaces that you're using every single day, the closets, the drawers, the cabinets, and just get them to where they are working for you and not against you. I promise you, you are going to be so glad that you did. Here's a quick shot of all the spices that I chose to decant and label that I use on a regular basis. And now I'm gonna get these back into this turntable, back into the pantry, and we'll take a look at the before and after for the final reveal of this pantry makeover. Okay, so with a big project like this, the best place I could think to start was just by going through everything and removing all the trash. So I went through things and I started to just put decor aside that I knew I wasn't keeping. Whatever I wanted to keep, I started putting on that shelf, and then I just started taking out trash. And I know I'll have to go through it a few more times to find all of the trash, but this is kind of the preliminary trash pickup. Let me know in the comments how you're doing today, what you've been up to. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so glad you're coming along with me on this project. Okay, so I think that is most of the trash. I'm assuming as I keep moving things around in here, I'll see more trash. It's just there's a lot of stuff in here right now. So I am starting a sorting station in my driveway. So whenever I clean out the garage, I like to clear out my driveway, get the cars out of the way, and just use it to sort things so that I can kind of see what all I'm keeping. And it's like, if not, I feel like I'm just moving things around and nothing ever feels complete. Like I don't actually see how much stuff I have. And so getting it out of the actual space it normally lives in and getting it somewhere else, I don't know what the magic is about that, but it shows you the reality of what you're keeping, because I think we become blind to it, just seeing it every day in the same space. It's like, yep, it's just there. That's what's in the garage. Whereas if I make transfers and put it into a separate space and actually organize it and see what it looks like, I can really see what I have. And it's kind of a hack to get out of that house blind situation where you're just used to seeing something and it's just not a big deal anymore. Whatever I do end up keeping in this garage has to fit on this side right here that I showed you, or this back side right here. So we're not gonna have anything in the middle anymore. Nothing will be on the floor. The bikes will still be hung up, and that way I can really get this cleaned, swept out. But right now, let's continue to sort. If you're new here today, I just want to say welcome. My name is Jenny, and here on this channel, I like to offer a lot of home inspiration. Right now, we're working on a series called the Dare to Declutter series, where I'm decluttering different areas of my home. It's kind of an ongoing series that I do throughout the year, but I find I do a lot of my decluttering in the first half of the year because it's like the new year, spring cleaning, and just getting ready for the summer. So lots of decluttering here on the channel lately, but also other home projects. We're getting this house ready to sell here in the next few months, hopefully. And so we want to make sure that, you know, all those projects that we've been kind of putting off get done. So the garage is definitely one of the projects on our list. We can't show this house with the garage looking like this. And honestly, we just want a more functional garage for the last few months that we're going to be living here. So I'm so glad that I'm finally getting this done. As you can see, I'm just not wasting any time here. I don't want to take too long to make decisions. I just want to kind of quickly decide what goes in each pile. I have my marketplace sell pile. I have a donation pile. I have the trash bins right outside. And then I'm keeping the things that we'll still be using, like seasonal decor, tools, bikes, just all the things, overstock supplies like paper towels, toilet paper. This is all things we like to keep in our garage. So this project is a big one, but it was definitely one that needed to be done. My husband works from home, but he pops in a few times to help me with larger items and just other things that we needed to do for this garage. So you'll see him here and there. And again, just welcome. Thank you for being here. Make sure you're subscribed so I can see you on another video if you're enjoying the content. And at the end of this video, I'll link a playlist to more videos just like this. I have lots of decluttering and organizing and home project videos here on the channel. So excited. We are making progress. Look how good this looks, guys. We finally see some wall space in here. There's still a lot of stuff, but we are making such good progress. I feel like it's going well. I've been working on this for about 2 hours for reference. I also need to FaceTime with Noelle because she's storing some things in my garage. So I don't want to declutter anything that she wants to keep. I do know she wants to donate a lot of it, but I don't know exactly what. So we'll get with her and figure out that. And then we will continue on with our project. Okay, so my goal was to get all of the decluttering done on day one. It was a pretty lofty goal, but I figured if I just kept working and just taking breaks when I needed to, I could get everything decluttered so that the boys could take all of the donations to the store by the end of today. So like I said, it's a pretty big goal, but I really knew I could do it as long as I just didn't take too long to declutter. As far as these little bins go, if there was stuff in there that I wasn't 100% sure of, I went ahead and kept it for now. I wanted to just do a very superficial declutter, just kind of like look in there and see, is there anything I know for sure I don't need anymore? Take it out of there and then put the bin right back on the shelf. I'm still using these bins to kind of store the things that I'm keeping. I am changing over to new bins, which I will show you. But for now, these are working great, and they're going to come with us to Tennessee when we go declutter and get the Tennessee home ready for sale. So we are going to use these bins. As you can see, my neighbors were shopping my piles. So the kids were shopping the donation pile and seeing if there was anything they wanted. They grabbed a few things. And then a couple of my neighbors came later and bought some things from my marketplace pile. So that worked out really well. And I was able to get all of the donations ready for the boys to take. It was definitely a car full, but they were able to take it. And you'll see the camera kind of moving because the wind was blowing so hard that it was like blowing my tripod around. So thankfully my camera didn't fall. While the boys are gone, I'm going to work on this side of the garage, and I'm going to sort through my late husband's old medical equipment. This is going to be getting donated to someone who needs it, and then I'll work through decluttering through all of the tools and the things on this side.
When you're alone and feeling down, and you're 10 feet underground, when you're so deep you're about to drown, when you're in the lost and found, 'cause heartaches only last a day. Ooh, but your heart will never fade away. Go out and find your way. Don't let them take your soul away. Not a week, not a single day. Hold true to what you wanna be. Never let go, and here's the key. Be you, yeah, only you, only you. Ooh. Be you, yeah, only you, only you. Sky meets the ground and draws a line. It's been true for the longest time. Just know that somewhere there's a sign. Either fate or the big sublime. 'Cause rainstorms always move away. Ooh. But you'll go till night turns into day. Go out and lead the way. Don't let them take your soul away. Not a week, not a single day.
Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. Today we are going to start day 2 of this project, which is painting. So we're going to take a trip to Home Depot real quick, grab some paint. We'll look through the paint samples and see if we can find a good color for the garage. I want to say for the last 2 times I've done a garage transformation video, one of the #1 comments that I received was, you need to paint your garage. So I am taking your recommendations seriously, and I think it's a great idea actually. So we're going to get this garage painted today. So let's go over to Home Depot and see what we can find. Okay, I'm starting with some wall preparation here. I'm spackling some of the holes from past organization projects that we had going on over here. And I want to be clear, even though I'm painting these walls, this is still an unfinished garage, so this is not going to be as nice as the interior of our house. The walls are not going to be perfect. They're not going to be perfectly floated or smoothed or anything like that. But I do think that the paint does wonders for the inside of this garage because it just gets rid of all of the, unfinished look of it with the tape and just all of the stripes and lines that this garage has. So I really feel like just removing that from the visuals, and just having like a solid paint color and a matte finish really does wonders for the garage and just makes it look very, very nice and calming to the eye. We did not do anything with the ceiling or the floor, so the cement still has oil stains on it, things like that. And it's not perfect, but it really did come out nicely. We were so happy with the way it came out, and I really do think it was an improvement. Before we got paint on the walls, I wanted to make sure and clean them as best I could. So I took my broom into the corners and all around the areas that I thought was spider webs or collections of dust, and then cleaned the bottom of where the floor meets the walls as well. So we got them as clean as we could before we started putting paint on. And I also took some time to clean off these white wire shelves, which we are repurposing. We're gonna leave these up. They're perfectly functional and will be very useful for storing all my new totes. Here's one last look at the walls before we get them painted. The paint color we went with is called Pine Mountain, and it's by Behr. And it's kind of a cool toned deep green. It's kind of got a gray base to it, and I just think having a darker color is just nice in here. It's very forgiving. It's not going to show every single nick or ding that happens on these walls, and it just makes the white shelves pop, and I really like the way that this came out. It did take quite a bit of time to cut all around these little wire shelves, and I did the best I could, but thankfully the paint scrapes off the metal parts wherever I overpainted. So I went ahead and cleaned it up when I was done, but overall I just think it came out great. And once we got to the part where we could just roll the walls, things started moving a lot quicker. So another reason it is so important for us to get this garage decluttered now is because we are heading up soon to Tennessee this summer, and we're gonna get Chad's house decluttered and ready for sale as well. So just a quick backstory here. We met on a widow support group and got married last year. So we are kind of joining two households. He was from Tennessee and had a home there, and I'm down here in Louisiana. So we have two full households. You know, we're in midlife, so we've lived a lot of life, and there's so much stuff, so much decluttering that has to be done. Some of it is emotional and difficult, sentimental, because it involves our late spouses. And so that is really hard. And so it's like just allowing ourselves the space and time to kind of do this together and support each other through it is really important. So he's supporting me through going through all my stuff, which is why I did not rush myself to declutter some of the things in the bins, because I was running into sentimental items, things that meant something to me, and I did not want to rush that. So other things are easier to make quick decisions on, but for sentimental things, it can be a lot harder. And I would just encourage you, if you're going through something similar, just take your time. And when we go up to Tennessee, everybody's going to take their time. And, everyone will get to keep whatever they want to keep and take their time. But I wanted to have room in my garage to store whatever we needed to keep or wanted to keep. And so making room for more things is really important, because we're essentially joining our two households here. Kind of a long story, but as I'm sharing little things about my life in my videos, I just wanted, especially for someone coming in who doesn't know me yet, I just wanted to share a little bit of that backstory of what's going to be happening here in the next couple months. So I am taking you guys with me to Tennessee. We're going to get those projects done together up there, and I'm going to take you along with me. Okay, so now it's actually a few days later. We had some really bad weather that needed to pass through, and I also took some time to order some labels off of Amazon for my new bins. So these bins are the Sterilite bins from Walmart. I love these bins. They're just slightly different than the older ones that I had. And like I said, I'm going to repurpose those for the Tennessee trip. But I wanted to get some nice new bins because a lot of the old bins were not in such good shape, and now these are all new and ready to go. But I will try to link these bins in my description box. I got this size, and then I got the larger size to go underneath for storing larger, big items for the garage. And I'm also going to link the labels that I ordered on Amazon because I absolutely love them. They're so easy to work with, and they're removable. So if you put them in the wrong place and want to, change them later, they're easy to pull off and change. So as I was doing this, I was kind of decluttering for a second time. The first declutter is a little more broad, and then once you get into the nitty-gritty, you can really see what you have. It's easier to see because you have less stuff, and it's just a lot simpler. So the main categories that I ended up having for my bins would be seasonal decor. I also had labels that just say home decor for more neutral decor and everyday pieces. And then I also had some keepsake bins that I kept some sentimental items in, and also some things from like the kids' childhoods that I'm keeping for when they, get older and may want them. I also had bins with photos and photo albums. And then, like I said, the larger bins, we have the outdoor things like water guns and lawn chairs, ice chests, picnic blankets, and just larger bulk items that are stored in the garage. So overall, I was just trying to kind of, figure out what's going to go where, how can I store it without things breaking. I may have to come back and wrap some of these more smaller breakable pieces just to kind of protect them in the future. But for now, I'm just kind of nestling them in there the best I can. But I'll probably go back at some point and wrap what needs to be wrapped. Let me know in the comments though, what is your favorite way to wrap decor or store decor? I would totally appreciate any advice here. Going through a garage or a basement or anything where you're decluttering a lot of things is like a time capsule of all the things that have happened in your life. I definitely took a trip down memory lane doing this, but it feels so good to take care of the things that I've decided to keep and get them organized in a better way. So I hope this inspires you to do the same in your house.
I was lost or I was found. Nothing ever in between. Shedding tears or extremely happy. Got no one to stick around. Once my heart was in pieces. I told myself that was what I needed. The more I felt drowning in doubt. Needed to see a way out somehow. Give me a reason. Give me a change. Give me something to love. At least something I can make sense of. Give me freedom. Give me faith to ease my heavy heart. Just some energy to feed up and then get rid of.
Okay, so I love how this came out. I think it is so clean and calm. It is definitely functional. I have so many bins. There's 16 bins, so lots of storage space. Very excited about that. I just think it looks so nice. The labels look nice. I will definitely link them down in my description box for you guys. They're really easy to work with and I really love them. So now we just need to work on this pile. This is what is left. So this is the leftover pile of things that didn't make it into the bins, and we'll probably make it onto these shelves over here. So I'm gonna repurpose those shelves. I used to have all kind of random things on there, and I think I'm just going to make one of them for overstock of like larger items that we keep in the garage. And then I'll probably use the other one over here as a tool shelf because I really feel like that tool shelf is just too small. So we're gonna see what we can do with all of this stuff and get it looking a little bit nicer so that it matches more with this side. I wanted to show you guys, I got 3 of these bins. One is already over there. But I thought these would be great for Christmas trees. I've already got this Christmas tree out of the bag and ready to go. So I was thinking I could put one Christmas tree in one in the other, because we have 2, And then the third one I could use for wreaths and garland. So that was the idea, just to have these nice big heavy duty bins, because I already have Christmas tree bags, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pass those to somebody else. I'm not a huge fan. I feel like everything keeps getting smashed and then they're really hard to clean. So I just prefer to have a bin that's hard that I can stack things on top of and is more easy to clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and trade that out for the bins. These ended up working really well. These are from Home Depot. I'll try to link them in my description box, but I like Home Depot because I can do military discounts. So if you are military or veteran, make sure you sign up for Home Depot's military discount.
Looking up at a tree, I remember how it started. I was lost in a dream when the fire in my heart said an open rose. I've already found sunlight, the feeling grows, and anything sounds alright. I'm breaking loose, living in the moment in my own balloon. This year I'm going to start a new chapter. Ignore the tears and only write down the laughter. An open rose. I've already found sunlight, the feeling grows, and anything sounds alright. I'm breaking loose, living in the moment in my own balloon. I glide across the ground and over the ocean, and you can't force me down as long as I'm open, like a rose that already found sunlight, the feeling grows, and anything sounds alright. I'm breaking loose, living in the moment in my own balloon.
Okay, we are just moving right along here. We are trying to utilize vertical storage space here on this side of the wall. And these little screw-in hooks, I think I got them at Walmart. They were from the garage, how it was before. I pulled those out of the wall before we painted. But they're great for just hanging things, brooms, skateboards, leaf blowers, just all kinds of things. Anything you can hang, I would recommend hanging, because it's just a great use of what otherwise would be wasted space. I also like to have things as off the ground as possible to make it easier for cleaning, sweeping, because you know garages get so dirty when the grass gets mowed outside and it gets windy, everything blows into the garage. So it's just helpful to have as much off the ground as possible. But I'm just kind of cleaning off some of these tools before I get them back on the shelf. They were quite dusty. And we do want to leave room for Chad's tools coming back from Tennessee. We're going to be bringing all of his tools. This is just what I had on hand, but he's going to bring back a lot of his stuff. We might even need more storage to hold all that. We're not sure, but I felt like this was a good start, just to kind of dedicate a whole shelf to it, get some little clear bins for storing smaller things. And this is working out really well for now. Okay, so I went ahead and moved these shelves over here in the corner because I wanted to be able to charge the drill. There's an outlet right there. So I put these right here, and then that freed up space over here for my pressure washer and my ladder. So I went ahead and did that. And then I ended up putting Noelle's stuff right here that we're storing for her. And then she'll come get that eventually, but we just have that little area for her. And then these four are the Christmas trees and wreaths and garlands. And I just kind of tucked them in there so that they wouldn't topple over, like if the kids were playing in here or anything like that. I mean, they're pretty lightweight. They just have like greenery in them, but I feel like I didn't want them to topple over since I've got them stacked. That's pretty much the only place I could fit them, and we only need to get to them once a year. I also picked up the bigger version of the gray bins. These are the really long, big ones to put at the bottom because I had some bulk outdoor things that I needed to store. Our folding chairs in here, like lawn chairs that you would take to like a game or something like that, or a picnic. I've got our picnic blanket, ice chests. This would be good for water guns, pool noodles, basically just all of the big stuff, especially outdoor stuff that needed to be stored. So glad that I went ahead and just put those, and that kind of fills that space and allows us to use it. Then I also wanted to show you this. This is just a plastic black hamper from the laundry section, but it's very sturdy and heavy duty, and I just thought it was great for Alex's sports stuff. So I've got the bike pump, his soccer ball, bat and ball, and then he's got a basketball somewhere. But I just think this is a great way to just throw stuff in, and then the kids can access it really easily. I am just so happy with the way that this garage turned out. It's functional, it's nice looking, it's clean and calm. It's all the things that I love in a functional, beautiful home. So I'm very excited that this project is finally finished, and I'm so glad you joined me for this transformation. I hope that you enjoyed watching it go from the hoarder garage look to the clean and calm look. Stay tuned for more as we head over to Tennessee and get some decluttering and home projects done in the Tennessee home. And again, if you love content like this, watching transformations, home projects, decluttering, organizing, decorating, all things home inspiration, make sure you check out the rest of my channel. I've got lots of content like that here on the channel, and I will link a playlist for you after this video for you to enjoy. Thank you so much again for being here. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.